Hey guys, it's Matt. After yesterday's video, I took a long walk, and the fall here in outside Philadelphia and Pennsylvania is without a doubt my favorite time, especially when it's doing what it's doing now. A little bit warm, then a little bit cold, a little tiny bit of rain, then a few crisp days. Then when it does this and the leaves are turning, it is absolute paradise for me, unlike what happened last year. But forget that. This year's a little rain, then a little warm day, then a cold day. It's incredible, and then all the leaves start turning yellow and red. It's absolutely incredible. And I saw a comment. This video is, let me just back up, is going to be about part two, the work. And we have to be careful not to try to have, is Joel going to define what we need to do here? We likely need to define it ourselves. And let me talk about that. But the comment from the last video. I forget the name of the commenter, but and I need to be as nice as possible here because these people have so much work to do. It happens all the time, a few times a week. Matt, this place is hell. This is a place of suffering, of torture. Well, one of the simplest notions of part two, the work, is in all of the entire existence, your entire incarnation could boil down to something as simple as the ability to find the heaven amongst the hell all around us or the growing hell. So the person that left that comment, who is so focused, this place is hell, and many of you would say that. I've heard this tens of thousands of times. If that's your focus, then it might be part two, the work then for you, because that's where you are now, could simply be, in one sentence, the ability to, for the rest of your life, find the heaven or the beauty amongst the hell or the growing hell. That may be boiling down all of existence. Your entire incarnation could be boiled down to one sentence. I believe that is possible. Well, Matt, don't we need to do all these other things? Maybe not. Maybe I've thought about I thought about this after the long walk or during the long walk. All of existence may boil down to one sentence or just one aspect of part two, the work. So in part two, the work, part one, we've left the trick behind. We're not falling for it. A major part of the trick inside the truth research community is chasing the conspiracy itself. Chasing the conspiracy itself. We left that behind. Then, okay, we've talked about part two. Well, part of part two, the work, Matt, is overcoming the fear of death, whatever it may be, not worrying about the late water bill, not being sucked back into all the ways the not milk wants us fearful and worried and stressed. And then what are all the other aspects of part two? And a big part of what I was thinking about yesterday is there may not be any other parts. We've kind of defined part two as all these other things we have to do over here, once we leave the trick behind. And maybe it's one thing for each of us. I don't want to take that off the table. I bet it's resonating with you a bit. The person that said this place is hell, their job as that part of the incarnation of their spiritual whole, or whatever you want to, however you believe, or however you believe things are playing out here on this plane called Earth. And most people here believe that there's a spiritual part of them that's bigger than this place. We'll just leave it at that. Someone that said this place is hell said, well, that's it. Your work is defined then. You have to work for the rest of your life in finding the beauty that's still here. And per the rules of this reality, per the rules of this game, the heaven can never be stamped out by the not milk or anything else. The heaven will always be there to find. And that person's existence could be based on that one sentence. If they do what they're supposed to do, or what the part two, the work is best defined as for them. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I'm all over the place today. Sometimes I'm used to presenting a certain way. Like sometimes the words will come to me, of course, just before I say them. They can't come to me after I say them. But today it's like a normal presentation, then I'll completely get zapped or something. It's weird. So maybe I'll have more edits in this video. But I don't think we've ever talked about it like this. Part two, we have to be very careful that we have. I need Joel. Joel, that's the overlord soul. Joel, define. Matt, is it going to be Joel forever? Yeah, probably. Joel, define what I need to do for you. Whatever. But maybe we can define it ourselves. This whole existence is about giving power away, waiting for a God to tell you what to do, or Joel or Oversoul, you bastard. Waiting. No, maybe we define it ourselves. The whole reality is about telling us we have no power. Rule of opposites. That means we have all the cards. We have all the power. Rule of opposites. So, but the person that is not, let's just say in this example, making comments because the other person was making comments about this place is such a hell. Saying fear of this, fear of death, fear of then part two of the work for you may be one sentence. I will do nothing. My focus for the rest of my life will be overcoming different degrees of fear of death, whatever it may be, the worry, the stress, and that's it. This place is too difficult to maybe accomplish more than two things, more than one thing. So, I think I've been incorrect the way I've laid out part two in the past. I think overall it's correct. The separation of the trick and then moving beyond the trick. But then, part two, there's all these, the way I've presented in the past, somebody may have watched one of my videos and thought, oh God, there's hundreds and hundreds of things I need to work on in part two. And I thought about this a lot yesterday, and I thought, it kind of hit me. And I'm not saying this is it, but it may be one thing. It may be one thing. In the Last Samurai, Kotsunawa, or whatever, Matt, don't try, I don't know what it is. Yokinawa says to Tom Cruise, someone could spend an entire life looking for the perfect blossom, and it would not be, if they did it in a certain way, it would not be a wasted life. And I think the same thing applies to part two. If that person that left the comment about this place is hell, oh God, if they have some sort of a revelation that, okay, if this message hits them, and I have to spend the rest of my life finding the heaven amongst the hell, and that's all they do. It's like somebody could spend their entire life looking for a perfect blossom, and it would not be a wasted life. I think that would not be, not only, this is poorly said, not only not a wasted life, but potentially what their entire existence was for. And I guess I'm being a little repetitive, but I want to stress that part two might be one thing for you. I did it yesterday. I think right now my part two is many different things, but finding the heaven amongst the hell. Gouda, watching Gouda for 3 weeks. Pam's traveling, and I don't want to, 30 seconds or less. He eats and eats and eats. He's always been thin. We had thyroid tests. He's 13. He's getting older. Eats and eats and eats, and well, the vet said, look, his blood work was normal. The only thing possible could be worms. So bring him in. The pills have to be jammed down his throat. We should just try to deworm him. There's really no other explanation for him eating 4-5 cans a day and constantly begging for food. Anyway, sorry. So the vet's late, of course. All the doctors are late. I'm sitting in the vet. It's hot. But there's one little animal. There's a little black cat named Mystique that's 20 years old that had some sort of cancer in the leg, and she limps around, but she's fine. They've cured it, but she drags her back leg up. But she's so feisty. I love this little black cat, and that's got me. The 25 minutes waiting for the doctor and people coming and going, and the road was loud. It's not a fun place to wait. The office is not great. Just constantly focusing on Mystique, and I was like, this is incredible. I'm able to spend this time with Mystique. I've known Mystique for as long as I've been taking cats to this place. That was my heaven, and it was enough for me, and I was proud of myself for doing that, because say 5 years ago or 8 years ago, I would have been bitching, not complaining, but in the past I've been capable of where's the vet? I'm not really that mean, but we're complaining, focusing on, this is terrible. Sitting Gouda's, he's uncomfortable. He's wailing out every so often. He doesn't like being in his little carriage. He hates the car. So he's wailing, but I was finding, sorry, this isn't coming out right, but I was finding the heaven in little black mystique with her green eyes, and I was just watching her, and I thought I was thinking earlier during the walk, but I thought this literally could be, defines someone's existence. This is all they need to do for the rest of their life. Why do we have to make it complicated? And it might be up to us to set what that is, not sit back and wait for Joel. I'm going to meditate and Joel's going to talk to me, my higher self. You son of a bitch. Tell me what I need to do for you. How come? Communicate with me. Print a tattoo on my arm, you bastard. Stop trying to communicate with Joel. Fuck Joel. And what do you believe you need to do? What do you, and then you could define it, even if you're wrong. Even if you get it completely wrong. So my part to the work is to find for this one commenter, find the heaven amongst the hell. And that's it. And if I feel I'm successful with that, it was a successful life. I didn't need to find the perfect blossom for it to be a successful life. Just looking for it in the right way. You might even define it wrong. Joel might have wanted something else, but you might have the power to define it and then to determine if you did it or not, which potentially could get us out of these material planes of existence if you believe there's multiple incarnations going on at once, or you believe in reincarnation. I don't know what I believe in that regard, but the one and done thing never sat right with me. That didn't come out right, so re-recording about a one and done existence or one and done incarnation, it never resonated with me. It doesn't make any sense to me. All of existence, the entire future, all of eternity boils down to not just one lifetime, but basically boils down to 15 years or 25 years, whatever it may be. It just doesn't make any sense. All of eternity, my entire future, boils down to 20 years here. Okay, because you're not going to get it done as a baby or as a small child on a big wheel, right? I mean, and then you're going to, as you become a teenager, you're going to get it done, whatever you need to do for your religion, whatever it may be. It's a very Christian notion of one and done, but that's not specifically or exclusively what I'm talking about here. As a teenager, you get expected to do what you're supposed to do, or you just want to run around and back in my day, there was no internet. So you just somebody tried to pass a dirty magazine around the high school. And can I have that for a few days? God damn it. I don't care if the pages are stuck together. You get a magazine or something. That's all you cared about. You think someday I'll be able to do this with a real woman? You think? That's all. I mean, teenager going to get it done? Whatever it might be? No. And then you go through K through 12 and you're mind controlled and you've got to go to college, Matt, and you want to I'm going to pick business. What is that? I'm going to become a business major. What does that mean? I don't know, but I think that's what I'm supposed to do. And then somebody told me, if you're not good at math, Matt, you're not good at math. Don't take finance or some of these other accounting. You need to take marketing because your math skills are horrible. I've seen your SATs. In marketing, what's that? I don't know. Just take it. All you got to do is come out the other side with a degree in some big corporation, some insurance sons of bitches will give you a job. You're just going along the path. And they say, okay, here's my degree. What's this for? I don't know. They told me to do it. Now I get this job. Pay me, sons of bitches. You go in your 20s, you're not going to get it done. Most people in their 20s like me, what's the next? What should I lease? What car should I lease? Whatever. Then in the 30s, some people start to get a clue. Most don't till their 40s. And even looking back now, I'm in my 50s, looking back at my early 40s, some of my beliefs was still completely I just questioned, who was that person even 10 years ago? So to me, you have like a 20-year period. All of existence comes down to, are you going to get it done when you're like 90 or 100, or sometimes you get it too old? Okay. Doesn't make any sense. So I am more open about Tony's simultaneous incarnations, different aspects of higher self, or even reincarnation. Reincarnation is a huge taboo subject, or just it really enrages a certain set. Many of you are completely open to it. Well, Matt, it makes sense. A one and done. You just outlined it very well. One and done doesn't make sense. All of eternity comes down to 20 years. Okay, but excuse me. But it does trigger. It triggers the fact that you could even the simultaneous notion of simultaneous incarnations all happening at once with higher self and Joel. There is no time to Joel. They're all happening together. But basically he's playing 100 games of Risk and Clue and Monopoly all at once with different little aspects of himself, like little sons of bitches, like Matt, son of bitch. And that makes more sense. They don't get triggered by that because maybe that's just so ridiculous. They do get triggered, as many people get triggered by the notion of reincarnation. I don't get triggered by it. I'll leave it on the table. One and done doesn't make... Well, Matt, the big question, of course, that you dumbasses can't answer is why we come in, if it's reincarnation, why we come in with the mind wipe. Would we learn last time if we lose it all, Matt? Answer that, you jerk. Well, the one thing they never mention, or they never even bring up as a possibility, those that will give you that, you come in with a mind wipe, Matt. Would you learn whatever you learned last time? It's all for nothing. Whatever you're going to learn this time, Matt, you'll all forget it. Well, if there's a notion of Joel or the higher self or a spiritual aspect of you, the whole of you is learning the lesson. That we are too focused here, in my opinion, on the individual. Many people even here are so tunnel visioned about this is all they are. Okay, Matt, I have a soul and a spirit, but it's all here. And my I can't prove it, but my contention has always been for years and years and years that I just feel like the dream character to me to one level up, and then how many ever levels of fractals. I'm just a small aspect that's considered the individual. I'm considered I'm a small aspect. I consider myself to be an individual, but part of something larger. That triggers people too. But some people say, well, then life to lifetime, then you lose everything. Well, I might lose it, the individual, but does my spiritual whole gain the valuable information that was learned per each simultaneous incarnation or each lifetime or whatever? Because I believe there's a part of me that's much, much bigger than this place. I don't believe everything I am. This is my belief. I don't believe everything I am is confined here on earth, confined in the body. We would say the soul or over 6 feet up. And it's not, no, I don't think all of me is confined here. It's like speak to your dream character. If you could speak to a character in your dream, when you're in the dream, 99 point whatever percent of us, while we're having the dream, even if you've had lucid dreams, you're not always lucid. I mean, some people here are, some people possess amazing abilities, whatever, but that's not the case for most of us. Most time I could walk up to you in the dream and say, hey, I'm Matt. Who are you? I'm him. Who's he? He's me. You're in a dream. You're dreaming this right now. This is, let's say the person could even be convinced, or they couldn't be convinced. They probably could be convinced. This isn't a dream. What I'm trying to convince you is, and you might not believe me, but you're just an aspect of something much larger. There's a son of a bitch sleeping in a bed. You don't even exist. There's a son of a bitch. Well, what's the difference with us? I'm here on earth. There's a son of a bitch at one fractal up, sleeping in a bed or doing whatever, whacking himself off. Matt, the way you understand it, you don't even exist. Probably. To me, it's that simple. It really is. I'm just the dream character to me, or me, I'm just an aspect of something larger. The dream character is an aspect of something larger, a consciousness that's in a bed. Okay? Well, the dream character goes away. Matt, what's the reincarnation? You get mind wiped if you come in again. They think they have it all figured out. Well, the dream character, when you wake up and the alarm clock goes beep, beep, beep. I still have an old-fashioned alarm clock, and it does that. I'm not joking. I don't have no phone or anything like that. I have a flip phone. Beep, beep. It goes beep, beep, and I wake up. Well, the dream character goes, that consciousness in that dream goes poof. It's gone forever. Well, the dream character comes back, and the dream character, guess what the dream character has? A mind wipe. Because you could get into the dream with that dream character and say, do you remember you're the dream character. Last night you were taking a test and you didn't study and you were all stressed out, and the dream character doesn't know. You're like, well, I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm here now in this field. I don't remember no test taken from yesterday. The dream character has a mind wipe. Isn't that interesting? And then one level up, we have a mind wipe. But the lesson of the dream, many of us forget most of our dreams just a few seconds after waking up, of course. Well, this doesn't help anything. But you remember many dreams. You forget 90 whatever percent, and you remember many dreams. So the larger part of you, remembers and learns the lesson, even though the dream character, when it appears again the next night, has essentially a mind wipe and doesn't remember itself, whatever dream scenario it was in the night before. But you, at one level up, do remember, or may remember, some of your dreams. But you understand what I'm saying, even though we forget most. So is that a little reality hint that's just kind of hitting me that we should explore? I never thought about this. Should we, because we forget 99 point whatever, we forget almost all the dreams we have, of course, 99.9 all the way down. How many things, specifics about dreams do we remember? One tiny fraction of all the dreaming. And even for a few seconds in the morning, we don't even remember. So will the same thing happen? Is the oversoul or Joel struggling in the same way with us? Not getting all of our experiences. We don't get the entire dream character's experiences and remember. Is Joel not getting, or the other aspect of you not getting all of your experiences, or just remembering little fragments? And that could be an issue. I don't know where to go with this. This is kind of hitting me. Is working on remembering dreams? Maybe not. If I work on trying to remember my dreams, whatever little ritual when the alarm clock goes off, what was I just dreaming about? Then trying to trace it back. What was before that? Will that help? Will that help Joel, or the other aspect of me? Matt, it's just breaking down to nonsense. Maybe. But it's worth keeping on the table. How do we allow whatever aspect of ourselves to take away 100% of our experiences here? Because maybe it doesn't take away 100%. Is that the not milk blocking? Is it through affirmation, just saying the not milk can no longer block this? Whatever aspect of me that's not here, I am freely giving away the entirety of my experience here, and will be fully communicated with whatever aspects of me exist. That can no longer be blocked or governed or held back. I don't know. I've made those affirmations before, and I do it. I do it about memory. Joe in Mexico, his big thing is memory, and the not milk wants to take your memories and steal your memories. He even described a scenario at death where. So I'm working on this a lot recently, where I'll say, something will happen, with Mystique or whatever yesterday. I say, I want to remember that. I want to, and I will then go forth after that and say, well, I've already declared many times that every single memory here, every single moment will be remembered by whatever I am or whatever I will become after death. I've declared that hundreds and hundreds of times. So when I say I want to remember that, I'm saying what Matt is in this incarnation. 25 years from now, I want to remember that experience with Mystique in the vet's office. But I have done that where I've said, I'm going to remember every single moment of this existence when I'm dead, or the other spiritual aspect of me will take it all with. Nothing else can take it. Why? Because I said so, the affirmation. So again, the party being tricked holds the cards and the power, or there would be no trick. So let's remember, we potentially have the ability, because we seem powerless here. The rule of opposites would say we have the ability to decide and define everything here, even whether your lifetime or existence has been a success or a failure. Okay, that is not, Christians don't like that, and a lot of people don't like that. That's blasphemy. So let me get this straight, and you're really smart, from Davenport. On your deathbed, you will define whether your life was, what your part to the work was, and whether you succeeded or not. Yes. I do. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I absolutely favor that. 99% to 1, I favor that as being likely, versus whether it be Joel or some god or did some judge or that Anubis going to weigh my heart against a feather. See, that nonsense tells you that Oh, and then we're powerless and help me, if somebody's going to judge me. And come on, sir. That just doesn't resonate with me. Because why is the not milk working so hard to make us feel like we're nothing, to make us feel powerless and just we can't do anything for ourselves and have to look to this and to that and ask permission for this and hope we please this. It's so, to me, the rule of opposites is so clear. If that's what the not milk and this whole reality is working to do to us, then it's the opposite. We set what's our part to the work. We define the one or two things we want to do for the rest of our lives. We decide we don't need to find the perfect blossom. Whether we lived our lives looking for the perfect blossom was correct or not. We decide whether we accomplished part two, those one or two things we have to do, maybe just a single thing, overcome fear, or find the heaven amongst the hell. We decide at the end whether it was a success or failure. And if that's not the case, why is this not milk thing, this entire reality working against us to get us to think we're powerless? In terms of anything important, the rule of opposites has never been proven wrong. Never. In terms of anything important. As I said, if the school, and you go into your kids' elementary school, it says, eat your broccoli and Brussels sprouts, well, that's probably accurate. Don't run the kid off and buy a big bowl of candy. And then, well, that's got to be the rule of opposites. No, you can overdo it. Or anything major league important, like what all of existence is for, that's somewhat important, I would think. So the not milk will say, you're powerless, you don't make any decisions, you can't define what your life's about. I'd say the rule of opposites says, then it's all up to me. I define what part two is, and I define whether I got it done or not. That, to me, could be overcoming the biggest aspect of this trick that's being played here. Let me see if this is still recording. All right, let's stick with the topic from the person that said that this place is a hell and suffering, and we've all seen that. We've all felt that to a degree. Hopefully we've come out of it very quickly. We've felt that to a degree from time to time over our pursuit of truth. But many people here, believe that. We've seen that sort of comment tens of thousands of times. By the way, before continuing on this subject, there was a totally bizarre comment, I think, on the last video that said something, I can summarize Matt's videos for you in one sentence. This place is a stinking hell, or I don't know what. It's like, what the heck? I commented back, like, what the heck are you talking about? I forget the way they put it. My videos in summary would be, this place is hell, like with me saying every third video that this is the greatest news of all time. The spiritual revelations we come across when we get to this level of truth research, the greatest news of all time, 1 trillion times better than winning the lottery and the mega millions. How many times I've never said this experience was incredible, or finding the heaven among the hell. Even when I went into the hospital, I said overall, the experience or whatever happened to me, even starting with the pain, it was an incredible experience. It was suffering beyond anything I could have ever imagined a few days before. I didn't realize that level of pain was possible. Okay, I've mentioned this. Overall, I've said this experience was incredible to me. So, I've even said that about the hospital. So, yeah, this is just a really negative channel. Matt, don't get caught. It could be a bot, a troll. It was just weird. Okay. Also, one other thing about comments, guys, and then I'll get back to what I was saying, which was very important. People will still just leave a link. How many links have you seen? I wipe them all out. I'm not here to make a whole video and to have somebody go, oh, let me go over here. I'm not, unless the link specifically says how it relates to what we're talking about here. People just leave a link. How many links have you seen? I'm sure you've seen a few, because I'm not there, looking at every single comment. But I wipe them all out. I'm not going to allow. Allow a few links if it's specifically stated why it's related to what we're talking about. People leaving links. What the hell? Anyway, sorry. So back to what I was saying about focusing on the positive, but we're being trained in this existence, in this reality, just to see the negative. Truth research. Everything we've been through for some of us 10, 20, 25 years, is it mostly a negative thing that most people are involved in their pursuit of truth, conspiracy research? Is it we're trying to bring it out into a positive? We're trying to turn it here in the ninth inning into a positive. That's one of the big goals of this channel. But overall, where most truthers are, is it a negative thing or a positive thing? Of course, if you can get through the other side, the experience is very positive. But overall, where the not milk wants you to get stuck is extremely negative. I mean, we shouldn't even have to do this. I don't know how that came out, but just looking at the cake and a lake fake events, constant, who knows how they pulled off. We'll talk about that some other time. Supernatural realm, people paid and threatened, mall events, school event. Looking at just focusing on that. Is that positive or negative? Extremely negative. Once they've done a few, starting with going all the way back to Lee Harvey. Once they've done a few, then this reality is conducive for that stuff to continue. Once you've seen, well, that this was not right, this was not real, this was cake in a lake, well, then would you surprised that these are too? No, it's just going to continue its same patterns. It's very negative. Mud flood, that something happened, millions were wiped out, civilizations wiped, all the pursuits of truth. If you get stuck in 5th grade, if you get stuck in 8th grade, it's all very, very negative, of course. Even Tartaria is the architecture. Well, what's the premise there? That there's been secrets being hid. You have a whole past that's being hidden by dark forces. It's very negative. It's not just looking at the beauty of the architecture. Isn't that incredible? That's part of it, but this is being hidden. There's been a reset. It's all very negative. Of course, Matt, we know. Yeah, Dad, you told us. Get to the point. The point is that the reality piles on the hell. And is up to us to take what it's offering. It's like, in a buffet line, a heap of mashed potatoes on a giant spoon. That's the negative, the conspiracy research, the negative, that it constantly belittles, and there's dark forces, and you're nothing, and you're powerless, and there were great civilizations in the past, Lemuria, and you part of this, you ain't nothing, man. Constantly. Truth research piles on the hell. Of course it does. That's what it was intended to do by the reality itself. That's why truth research, conspiracy itself, is one of the biggest tricks, or the biggest trick. Well, one of the biggest. To me, the biggest trick is instilling the fear of death. Of course, there's some other tricks I'm not going to get into right now. Maybe some other time. But one of the biggest tricks for us in truth research is piling on all the negatives, all the hell. And then I did it for probably over 10 years, just lapped it up. Pile of potatoes. We'll give more fear. Oh gosh, like archonic beings at death, and this is a dark reality, and this and that, and the adreno, and all this. Oh God, all this. What's it called? Pizza pie. Gate. Remember that stuff? Remember that ridiculous? Oh my God, what was it called? A comet ping pong? Remember that bullshit? I gotta do I know everything there is to know about that damn stupid psyop, guys. I'm gonna do a free voice maybe on that. But anyway, more hell. More potatoes, please. You just had 27,000 helpings. Okay. It's very negative. So it's very simple. Every time we do the same thing. Get in your imaginary hot air balloon, go up to 100,000 feet, way, way up, and look down at the big picture. Oh, the dark reality wants me involved in all these negative topics, all these soul-crushing topics make me feel powerless, dark forces. Therefore, I hold all the cards. I'm in control. I have the power. He-Man, I have the power. He-Man, and that was he. Always seemed a little little you-know-what to me. Can't say it. Yeah, I guess I could. Well, he a little putt. I think He-Man putted from the rough. Put it that way. I don't know what can be said here. Oh, it's trying to get me involved in all these topics that get me to believe this is a hell realm. Does it work hard to get you to believe this is a hell realm? Or does the not know constantly putting things in front of you like little bunny rabbits that this is so wonderful? No, if it's working overtime to get you to believe that this is a hell realm, although just when you drive out on the Schuylkill Expressway, you can experience some hell for yourself. It's not always directly from not milk and what you're looking at and watching videos about. But if piling that on and remember, you're in your fake hot air balloon. You're at 100,000 feet. You can say, well, I can clearly see now what it wants me to do. Therefore, I know to do the opposite, to find the heaven. This isn't some stretch. This isn't some way out theory. I mean, you can see clearly what the not milk, what the dark reality, what Satan, whatever you want to call it, you can see what it wants from you. So there you just do the opposite. You know the truth lies on the other side. It is literally that simple. Okay, guys, I'm sure there's a few things that I wanted to mention that I can't remember. So I guess I'll just make sure this is a recording and I'll be back. Okay, this will be considered a rather harsh wake-up call for a lot of people, but I don't know. I'll try to do it as delicately as I can, but I do feel most people will still take the easy way out. I mean, how many times over the years have I said, like, take a note on this, or write a 3x5 card, or, I mean, and people will watch videos like mine and other channels. They'll get it. You know, they will absolutely get what I'm saying, what others are saying, and but they won't do it. Most will not do what it takes, even the people listening to this. Frank comes back what Frank said. I haven't heard from Frank in a while. Frank said, Matt, you talk about that the not milk is a reflection of ourselves. It's all from us. You know, personal responsibility. It all comes down to us. There is no bad guy to blame. There's no one to point at. You talk about personal responsibility. Your subscribers numbers will start to go way down. And I'm going to do something similar here. How many people have done it? The simple little 3x5 card. That, like, here's where to start. Will you do it? Some of you have. Most of you have not. You get it when you watch this video and when you watch other videos, but do you practice it? Do you put it into your life? Most don't. I know that because I don't practice it as much as I should, and this is my channel. But I do, like yesterday, walk through the beautiful leaves, and I'm thinking, the whole time I'm thinking about these sorts of things. And anyway, 3x5 card. This is where I would start. Part 1, have I seen through the trick? Yes, check mark. Pass, fail, pass. What comes on the news? Donald Trump is knocking down the East Wing to build a new ballroom. Do I see that maneuver is clearly meant to do nothing other than piss off half of the country, simply to get under our skin? I'm going to get back to that because I got a phone call on that yesterday, and I've told this person 100 times, and they still just keep making the same mistake, but they're not a truth researcher. Part 1, do I see through the trick? We all do here, without a doubt. Everybody here does. Pass. Part 2, what is part 2 the work to me? Has anybody done, how many, 5 of you listening to me, 10 of you have written that out? What the rest of you waiting for? If you're not sure, Matt, you said it's hard to find that one thing. Then write the 10 things that you know you need to do. We all need to overcome fear. That is one of the major life tests of this entire existence, to overcome fear, mostly fear of death, but fear of many other things. Stress, anxiety, being with the in-laws. I'm not going to do it this year. I'm not going to get all worked up and be in a bad mood the week before they move in with us. That is part 2, the work. Overcoming fear. But, finding the heaven. This will be right at the top of my list. Finding the heaven amongst all the hell. In any moment or any situation that I'm in, even stuck in a traffic jam on the Schuylkill Expressway. It's like that scene in Falling Down. I'm not going to just get out and leave my car like Michael Douglas. He just got out and said, close the door. Fuck it. I love Falling Down. I love lots of falling. He left the car. Schuylkill Expressway, just inching along. You look at these going the Black Rock Tunnel going through Manayunk, the rock formations on the side of the. You can find the heaven. How many people have written a few simple things on a 3x5 card and simply will live their life by it? Very few. You just go on to another video. Get pissed at me if you want. Go ahead. But for many thousands of you, this is true. Write the 5 things. What is part 2 the work for you? And then you're not going to get it all done. You're not going to get it all right. It's okay. We're here to be low. We're here to be low. We're here to be low. The end of the end of your days. Did I do the right? Did I get it done? Did I get most of it done? And not perfect. Did I do enough? Yeah. Well, get us out of here. That's it. That is existence to me. A few sentences. I mean, how many of you have written that out on a simple 3x5 card? I would say, or just whatever. You have a whiteboard or whatever. I'd say, of all the thousands that may watch this, 40 people. Okay. Going on to another video ain't going to help. It's time to do it yourself. To walk the walk yourself. Yeah, I don't know. Where does that leave you, Matt? I don't know. Back to the car wash. I don't know. There's always, I don't know. I thought there'd be out of things to analyze and look at and talk about years ago. I don't know. Just always seems to be something to talk about, something to laugh about, something to feel sorry about, like the anchor outs. Not milk never disappoints. But no matter what you do, guys, don't ignore these basics, really. Anyway, I guess, well, there's a few things. There's something else I wanted to say. Let me try to remember. Okay, guys, I mentioned the movie Falling Down, and I was thinking I want to ask you what your favorite scene was in his interactions where he's just completely pissed off with life. And we live vicariously through the Michael Douglas character, many of us, when we watch Falling Down, where they're just leaving the car behind on the freeway. I know most of you have seen it. Interaction with the gang members, where he goes to order lunch, and it's, what is it? It's he want breakfast? He wants breakfast. It's 11:01. They switch from breakfast. He can't get breakfast anymore. He pulls out a you know what. He wants breakfast, but they switched over, and all the breakfast is still behind. He says, "Can't you just hand me one of those?" Anyway, so guys, the point here is I've talked about the survival of this channel many times over the years. Thinking, and there needs to be just some more general topic videos, maybe even a movie review from time to time, or maybe I'll call it a non-reality video, an NRV. I don't know. I mean, but I don't understand how these revelations like part 2 of the work may be one thing. This is important, and I don't think that stuff will really ever stop. And I'm not just making shit up to keep the channel going, like I said the other day. But I do worry that if reality, to me, is a half page with a very clear demarcation line between part 1, part 2 of the work, and there's a bad guy here, not milk, a spiritual adversary, it does get repetitive. Okay, it does. And many of you say, Matt, it needs to be reinforced, and it absolutely does, but I need, and that aspect of this channel will never end, of course. The Not Milk will always have another James T. and Spock Star Trek event, and it will always pull off another mall event or something ridiculous for us to look at or laugh at, or what Elon Musk is up to, or something Bill can make a poster out of, or even change the parameters of what we believe this reality to be. It's endless, a river of things to talk about like that. But it can't be, at this point, it just can't be just that. So I don't know. Again, I'm just going to experiment with a lot of different things. And, if a certain video seems trivial to you, like whatever it may be, the ruination, the intentional destruction of Star Wars is fascinating to me. And the intentional destruction of all the franchises, I do touch on that every so many months. If I will, I will not be able to tolerate, that there's the Gestapo truthers that will come on, Matt, you're talking about this trivial stuff, and the righteous truther bullshit, and like I'm supposed to come out here and say the same thing every single video. I will remove all those people from the channel. This 1 or 2 days a week, it might. This is more like a community now, right? You're gonna just, if Eva and me are hanging out. Maybe just, Eva, let's talk about the Not Milk again. She'd be like, I'm tired of that shit. Don't you want to talk about a movie or something? Talk about the weather. I want Not Milk. She'd be like, shut up, you son of a bitch. Talk about something else, even the fucking Eagles game. I mean, we need to, well, she would be a little nicer than that. But, I mean, we're like a community here. Maybe we'll do a movie review, or I don't know. Imagine the trolls cutting and pasting sections of this video. He's left with nothing. He's talking about possibility of movie reviews. We're going to have to do some different things. And the channel will either There will always be, it will at least be 3 days a week, not milk stuff, and reality itself. And there's even something along those lines I want to talk about in the next video or two, that the truth researchers are not noticing. I've talked about this in the past, but I'm going to take it to a different level. The truth researchers in general, they don't notice the general scripts and themes and giveaways of reality itself and how they fall for the same traps over and over. You just have to back up and see it's playing its same game in every single aspect, no matter what your research topic may be. You know, I'll get into that. I watch some of these videos, and it's like, can't you see that this is back up? It's the reality trick. Stop looking at your specific topic. Okay, that I want to talk. There's always stuff like that. Real quick, guys, I want to talk about this in a video coming up, but I'm not overly familiar with it. But it just comes up from time to time where you hear people talk where humanity, the real spiritual beings here need to reach a 51% positive, and this is such horseshit to me. I don't know where it is that, and I know, is that the raw material? Is that the Course in Miracles? I don't mean to pull those things down. I know many of you really, like A Course in Miracles, many of you really believe in that, and I don't know, like, I'm not running those programs down or whatever that is, but if that is associated with humanity or collectively we have to reach 51% positive by a certain date or something, I will run it down if that's where it came from. That is absolute horse shit. I just want to insert this, right, Zara? You going to reach 51%, sweetie girl? We're here to be individuals. In this, we are probably all part of one source, and eventually so many thousands of levels up or 100 levels up, we'll all merge back together, and I'll merge with Melvin. We're part of the same thing, and I don't want to think about that. Ew. But here, in this place, we are here to be individuals. Worry about yourself, Zara. We're here to be, this is an individual experience. It matters not what your neighbor's doing, if this person's failing, if this person, collectively, we have to reach 51% of that hidden hand guy or whatever talked about the harvest. You've heard people talk about this. The 51% or what, positive. Come on, sir. What a bunch of, if this were to go on, I'd just be bitching. I don't know much about it other than it keeps popping up. What a bunch of absolute horse shit. No, we're here. You're here for yourself. What the rest of everybody's doing, to me, it is crystal clear in my inner knowing. And that might be wrong. I'm not saying I'm coming out here saying I got all the answers. You got answer? It's bullshit. And as I learn more about that 51% bullshit, I really look forward to making fun of it in the future. Okay, I almost forgot. Earlier I mentioned, what is Trump building a ballroom, or a part of the East Wing is being torn down, and somebody, I won't mention any names, but somebody that it follows politics, and I spoke to on the phone, and they're not a truth researcher. They know exactly what we do here. And bitching about that, in the midst of a shutdown, there's no money, but he's building a ballroom. And can't you see? They can't see, but I was just going to. Can't you see that is simply there to piss you off? It is that simple. Building a ballroom or whatever is tearing down the East Wing, and especially in the midst of a shutdown where there's a budget, a crisis, of course, all cooked up, of course, if anybody's new, all part of the script of this reality. I said, can't you finally see that is there simply to piss off half the country? That's it. Does he want a new ballroom? No, it's just there to piss off half of the country. You can't see that. And then they always kind of come around, maybe it is just there to piss us all off. But he's still a bastard for doing it. Then they just go right back. The download frequency gets a little stronger. Firmware update. Okay. So most of what Trump does, does all of you guys even realize? I know the old guard, and thank you for being here after clearing fields. Do you realize that most everything is there just to piss off the other side? That's it. It is that simple. Now, they're not, as I've said many times, sometimes they have 2 or 3 or 4 outcomes that they get out of what they do, and it's a very sneaky and worthy adversary. But it's at the very basic level, that's what it's there for. So, guys, I'll just end with this. See if again, if other topics are going to work on this channel. I wanted to ask you, what is, if I mentioned falling down, what is your favorite scene? The interactions of falling down are just. I'm no big Michael Douglas fan. He's a little creepy to me, but I do like the him against the world in falling down. If you haven't seen it, it's a must see. He leaves his car on the highway. He walks across Los Angeles. I used to live off the 110 freeway, the Via Marisol exit of the 110 freeway, just short of South Pasadena. But where I lived, the top of this hill, there was a gated apartment complex I rented from the owner, condos. I rented from the owner in 1996 when the insurance company moved me out there. At the bottom was Sepulveda. No, Figueroa. I always confuse that. The bottom of the road, all the way down through the few lights, was Figueroa, not Sepulveda. But I was technically in East LA. I mean, it had to be gated up there. It was not the greatest neighborhood, and he's just trying. So I recognize a lot of the places where he's trying to walk across Los Angeles to get back to his kid or whatever, and the interactions along the way. The convenience store is the first one. He wants money change. He wants change for the phone, but he buys something. It's more expensive than he thought to. He says, "I don't even have money now for the change. You must buy something." Matt, doing this movie review is just going to reenact every scene. Yeah, I think it's funny. I'm going to try to reenact every scene. I'm going to ask you what your favorite scene is, but yeah, I don't know. I am enjoying doing this. I hope you'll enjoy it. The convenience guy's like, must buy something, and he's like, I don't even have enough money left for the phone. And of course, the baseball bat. It says CV. The Corona beer. Corona beer is sold there. A big sign. Yeah, of course. That sort of stuff is. Back in the old predictive programming, it's not that simple. We'll talk about it some other time. Then the interaction with the what's the next one? The gang members. He's just trying to get back to his kid, or whatever. He's got the damn snow globe. He wants to give his kid a gift, and the gang members get him up and he's, hey, ese, hey, hombre. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do the. These are our turf. This is our turf. Ese, whatever. He's like, I don't care if it's your freaking turf. I'm not disrespecting your turf. I just want to walk across the freaking field. That's our symbol. I don't give a fuck about your symbol. Of course, baseball bat, and he's trying to get breakfast, right? Trying to get breakfast when it's lunch. We've switched over to lunch, sir. You can order a burger, a biggie fries, or whatever. What do you got in there that's any good? We have fries. I'll take the biggins. He can't get lunch. Of course, the guns, the baseball bat, now a bag of guns come out. The interaction with the two snobby people on their golf course. Who are you walking across? And then he just, I forget exactly, he totally goes off. You play this game where you take up half the city with your fields, and it's so funny. And the construction workers, the construction workers, which to me I see always... is it the last interaction is the construction workers, where every time I see it, I see the state of Pennsylvania. The state of Pennsylvania with its roads is one of the worst in the country. Our state tax is decent. There's some things about this state that aren't over the top not milk like New York State and Massachusetts and California, and Oregon and Washington are trying to become. They look at Massachusetts and they want to model themselves after. So Pennsylvania, say it, if you want to truly pretend like you're from here, say it like me. Pennsylvania. There's no L. So just say it like that. Overall, the state's okay, but the roads and the corruption around the roads and the Turnpike Commission is off the charts. I'm at the point where I literally believe they will fix a road or a pothole with materials that are designed to not last for more than a year or two, so they can just do it again. It's part of the major league corruption in this state is roads and highways, and there's a few other areas, but that takes the cake. I should tell you what my friend, I won't mention his name, worked for Harrisburg, the capital, and he dealt with the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission, and there's no more corrupt. But that's just for the one road from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. Anyway, so when it's falling down, I see Pennsylvania every time I see that scene where half the workers are just doing nothing, all on the taxpayer dollar. They're weeks and weeks or months in the case of Henderson Road in 202, and the sinkhole years behind where they should be. The workers aren't taking the job seriously. and they don't give a shit. And there's a funny there's some great the ending is the ending 20 minutes is it's not worth it. It's just those interactions as he makes his way across Los Angeles. The first hour and 20 minutes, hour and 10 minutes or so is worth. It's just classic. It's absolutely classic. And we all get our we get our frustrations out kind of through the Michael Douglas character. Overall, Michael Douglas is not my favorite. I mean, just in the game, which is the game is a reality truth drop to a degree with Sean Penn, and I don't like him in almost anything. He was in that weird movie with Demi Moore where she harassed him sexually, and that movie is I don't. Is there anything I like Michael Douglas in? I don't really like him in anything. Romancing the Stone, I don't know. I'm sorry, Michael. I know you're a listener. I'm sorry. I got to keep it real here. Hope you continue to tune in, Michael. Who's he with? You still with Catherine Zeta-Jones? Matt, it's breaking down. Well, of course it's breaking down. Look at the time. If Catherine Zeta-Jones is no longer with you, will you tell her to call me? All right, guys. Matt, that's what we're going to do if we're not going to examine reality. I hope not. It's going to be better than that. I'll have it. I just do it on the fly. I don't know. I wanted to talk about falling down because I mentioned it. I think it will be better than that, but it might not be. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for being here.